And so, dear hearts, here we are. It's Sunday again already. Can you believe it? My time she go fly, as my hairdresser says when I have occasion to see her. And so today we continue on with this understanding and this awareness of our uniqueness and our togetherness and our unity and our harmony and our oneness. The month is dedicated to us all understanding that we are joined to each other, belong to each other, part of each other. We have the one creator, the one humanity, and the one spiritual nature. We are interconnected. And of course, we have to keep that in mind and keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it until it drops into our feeling nature. And when it drops into our feeling nature, then we move upon it. We pray and then move our feet, because that is what gets every good thing done. So today we are looking at ourselves in the light of free at last. And of course, that's the dream, isn't it? It's the vision, to be free at last. And of course, as you may have recognized, we're singing the song of America today, and why not? You know, I had the joy yesterday of giving myself a self-care day. I can't tell you when that has happened. And I stuck to my guns, and even though I was itching to do something, I didn't. But what I did do is I tuned in accidentally to Turner Classic Movies. And lo and behold, they had these really good oldie patriotic movies like 1776. It's a musical. It's phenomenal. I watch it every single 4th of July, and I never tire of it. I recommend you watch it too, 1776. Plus, I watch another movie called, it's John Paul, now not John Paul the Pope, but John Paul, and I can't remember his last name, but I'll let you know. He is attributed to be the founder of the American Navy, and never was there a more stalwart character than Mr. John Paul Jones. Yes, that's it. It's John Paul Jones. I have to not get it mixed up with Tom Jones, etc. It's John Paul Jones. And what a man this man was, what a man of integrity, and what experience he had, and how he loved his country, and how he stood up to a lot of resistance to be in authenticity as he put together what he thought could be a beautiful American Navy. So we're singing the song, and we'll continue to sing it. And then, after that, I watched Ken Burns', it was 1985 documentary on the Statue of Liberty. And so bear with me as I tell you a story, because I know not many of us know this story, and it amazes me how little we know of our even present history, modern history, far less our past history, except for the past negative history that we all know about. And the story of Liberty is an interesting one, because she didn't get birthed very easily. She was a divine idea in the mind of one called Bartoli. He was an Italian man who was fired, and he had a passion, and he had a vision, and he had a dream about building the statue of dedicated to liberty for France to give to America for its centennial. And he met, of course, with a great deal of French opposition, and the Americans weren't too keen either, I have to say. But anyway, he had this potent vision, and he went ahead and he did this in spite of all the odds. And he built the statue. And then, as you know, there was great resistance to building the pedestal for the statue, the foundation for the statue, from this side. And people wanted to move it here, there, and yon. It was even suggested that maybe Philadelphia. And he said no. Because when he had the dream, it started out around a table, a dinner table, once upon a time, 21 years before the statue was actually erected in New York Harbor. And he visited New York. And as he came into New York, he said, this is the place. These are the gates. These are the gates to a new world, and that's where she needs to be. She needs to be in this harbor because of what she stands for. And he so admired what was going on in America with regard to democracy. He knew it was a very baby nation and it was growing, but he could see the promise of that. And he was hoping that with the liberty that America was achieving and so on, maybe in time France could be equally, caught up in that powerful passion. And so he traveled all over the country too, and he met all the people as well. And then eventually the statue did arrive. And of course, eventually we did get the money for it. It was always about money. And he had this vision that the very wealthy in New York, and there were very wealthy people in New York, would all chip in, and be easy to be able to get in a pedestal for Lady Liberty. But that didn't happen. Guess what? It was Pulitzer. It was Pulitzer who picked up the ball, and he said, you know what, this needs to be done and it's going to be done. And so he advertised and he told everybody, I am going to print every penny that everybody sends in to support this pedestal, every penny. And guess what happened? They raised $250,000, a lot of money then, with contributions of $1 or less. $1 or less. And Bartholdi was so moved, he says that's the way he wanted it, because he wanted ordinary, everyday men and women to be a part of this, because that's what she stood for, ordinary, everyday women. And he was delighted. And he wouldn't agree to have the statue made out of the usual steel and bronze. He said, no, it will be made of pure copper. It will be made by ordinary, everyday women, and it will stand for what America seems to stand for, the opportunity for everybody and anybody to create a new life for themselves. And so that's a little bit of the history. And it took, it was 10 years after the centennial when that statue was erected. And later came the inscription, the beautiful poem by Emma Lazarus that appears on the statue. I'm not going to go into that, but I would ask you to look at it. It's all on YouTube. Just look up Emma Lazarus on YouTube and read that, study it. It's awesome. The idea, advanced idea, as contained within that, as Lady Liberty holds up her torch in the harbor, welcoming everybody into the new world and its new opportunity. So please do research, inform, know the history, because if you know the real history and what lies behind it, we will say, yes, mea culpa, we've made dreadful mistakes and we've badly misbehaved ourselves, but what we stand on, the pedestal we stand on, the flag behind me, means only to me what we pledge it to be, and that is for a community that's indivisible under God, that absolutely is committed to liberty and justice for all. That's what the flag means to me. Liberty and justice in a country where we're all united under God. Remember, one creator, one humanity, and one spiritual nature. That's what the 4th of July means to me. I'm not sure what it means to every individual here, but that's what it means to me. And yes, as Reverend Catherine said, I absolutely enjoy the gatherings and the parties and the families uniting and friends uniting and breaking bread together and enjoying the fireworks. I miss that too. I have beautiful memories of 4th of July's past, and I'm sure you have too. But I valued yesterday's peace and quiet, at least in the daytime, peace and quiet, so that I could ponder and appreciate how blessed we are here in the United States of America and how great is its promise. I mean, Bartoli had a dream like Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. Now, these dreams have yet to be fulfilled. These dreams have disappointed many over the years and still does, but they're yet to be fulfilled, and they're sound still, they're strong still. Lady Liberty is the essence of strength and hope and the awareness of what we can be in the future by starting that process right now. And I am grateful for the good that's coming out of our terrible challenges all around us and about us globally and within our own land today. It gives us the opportunity to get our priorities really straight. What is important to us? The preciousness of life, the preciousness for the ability to live safely and healthily and in a way that fulfills us. But not just a few of us, but all of us. And until we seriously do the work upon ourselves, we will never be more than we are now. We will never break through our egoic selves into the true essence of ourselves, which is so much more integrated and open to infinite intelligence and infinite movement through us, so that we can roll up our sleeves together, work together, and get it done. Now, in the meantime, we must have patience. We must have patience and not keep jumping to judgment all the time. And so those of us who have had better opportunities than so many of us, we all need to learn to listen and to learn. Listen and learn, listen and learn. And be patient. And we're not going to like what we're going to hear. And we don't have to like it. But we do need to listen to what's behind it, what's underneath it, and how then we can make everything better. How we can indeed repair, recover, mend, fix, heal what needs to be done. And for heaven's sakes, my dear ones, this is the United States of America. Everything can happen here. Every good thing can happen here, because guess what? Even all the detractors that come here and are disappointed after a while by seeing that what they expected is not happening, and have all of the experiences that are not good experiences. Very few of them go back to where they came from. They all stay. Why? The majority stay. They stay because they see and feel the promise within what the flag stands for: liberty and justice for all. And what does liberty mean? I looked it up, and the definition was: liberty is a state of freedom from oppressive regimes within a society that oppose individual life and its way of being, behavior, and political ideas. That's what the definition was. Here, we're supposed to be free to be ourselves, just to be ourselves, to express ourselves, to have the freedom to express ourselves without being clobbered for it. without being judged for it, provided we're doing no harm, of course. This is still, in my humble opinion, the greatest place to be. It's the best of what there is out there. I know you mightn't be thinking that right now, but remember, what's happening right now is not the promise. It's not the dream. It's not what the flag Our Lady Liberty stands for. Not at all. But we have these beautiful beacons, these stars of light to guide us and lead us and take us into that promised land wherein we're in a world that works for every single one. Even now, as I say, we have become the Redondo Beach Global Center for Spiritual Living because of the virtual world. And it's that easy virtually. So we have to make what's easy virtually easier, in this three-dimensional experience we find ourselves with each other. Now, it's not going to happen, as I say, without me and you working upon ourselves so that we can listen, learn, educate ourselves, so that we can be more than we are now. It's a good thing. It's an opportunity. And as you know in our teaching, good comes out of everything when you know it, but you have to know it. You can't fake it. You have to know, I'm not sure about anything, really much of anything these days. I really don't have answers for much of anything. I don't even have that in my own life, or less for anybody else's. But I do know the teaching, and I do know that the teaching says that we are one life, and that life is God life, and that life is your life and my life and all life right now. That I do know. That's the teaching. That's what we espouse. And it's a beautiful teaching, and it's not new. It's called New Thought, but it's ancient wisdom made new for today's age in a way that we can best understand it for ourselves today. So I'm going to appeal to the greatness of you, the goodness of you, and myself. I'm going to appeal to the inner nature in us all, to that infinite, intelligent, whole, amazing, powerful energy that can be used, focused, and directed toward the good that we desire. The question is, do we truly desire it for everyone? Because until we do, no one of us can be free. That's what we understand by liberty. Until all of us are free, none of us are at liberty. And so I am delighted to congratulate you all, dear hearts, that are tuning in here today, because there's something in you that's responding to Come Higher, Friend. There's something in you that is opening up to your true essence and your real nature that wants to know the moreness of life and to have a life that's fulfilling, sustaining, and maintaining the good for all. So I'll finish in reminding us all that each and every one of us is the point of light, the point of power, the portal through which the infinite life, whole life, light, whole light, and life, whole life, expresses itself. We are the gateway for that to happen. In a sense, we're the lady in the harbor. We're the gateway to open the outlet to the inlet of the grace of goodness that's always pouring into us, and give birth to it and make the dream happen. Make the vision come into being. It's not going to happen any other way. So you beautiful people, continue to have a very blessed day, and please look up all these beautiful things and learn about this great land, learn about its indigenous people and its beautiful wisdom, and the awesome, awesome wisdom and grace of the First Nation, etc. Learn about all of our cultures here, and about in every culture there's a sense of sovereignty. Go back into understanding our African inheritance. Yes, we all came out of Africa. Yes, each and every one of us, that's where we all started out. In Africa. We're all African in origin. Do we understand that? I'm delighted. Why not? The sooner the better, all Heinz variety, I say. And listen, good hearts and good souls. Learn, love to be informed, love to research. And God knows all you have to do these days is press a button, and there it is. And so, thank you, each and every one of you, for your good thoughts, your good deeds, and your good feelings, because that's what's getting it done. That's what's mending, fixing, and healing, and bringing about this world that works for everybody. You're awesome. You truly are awesome. And you're one of a kind. Thanks be to goodness, and we need you because you are one of a kind. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate your presence here. And thank you for supporting this community that is working heart and soul to do all that we can do to meet today's spiritual needs of all kinds in our world.